Hello and welcome to the game show where we will try to find a match for one lucky person. Please welcome our contestant, Joe Voter. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
You know how the game is played. You're going to ask three bachelorettes some questions to see if you can find a match. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bachelorette number 1, could you give me your thoughts on Ontario's cap and trade?
The cap and trade is the best thing that has ever happened in the history of Ontario.
Okay, and Bachelorette number 2?
I am so in love with the cap and trade.
Right. Bachelorette number 3?
I am strongly opposed to cap and trade. Unless, of course, I need the money to shower you with gifts and buy your affections. And then I'll rename it a carbon tax and everything will be just fine.
Interesting. Back to Bachelorette number 1. What's your stance on the sex ed curriculum in Ontario?
The sex ed curriculum is the best thing that has ever happened in the history of Ontario.
Good to know. Bachelorette number 2?
Sex ed is like totally awesome.
And Bachelorette number 3?
I used to be opposed to the sex ed curriculum, but now I'm completely in favor of it.
Wow. Okay then. Bachelorette number 1, what about the Samsung windmill contracts?
The Samsung windmill contract is the best thing that has ever happened in the history of Ontario.
Alrighty. Bachelorette number 2?
What was the question again?
The Samsung deal?
What's a Samsung?
Seriously? How about you, Bachelorette number 3?
I could tell you what I knew way back in 2013 about the Samsung deal. About how all three major parties knew we didn't need the energy from the contract. And how all three major parties in Ontario knew that not terminating the contract would cost Ontario $5.2 billion. But that's all confidential, and I prefer to keep those documents hidden.
That's all the time we have, Joe. Have you made a decision?
They all sound the same to me. Why can't there be a Bachelorette number 4?
Joe, you're in luck. Mr. Announcer, why don't you tell Joe all about Bachelorette number 4, the Bachelorette that media ignores?
Joe, congratulations! You've selected Trillium! For choosing the best option, you've won 4 years in Ontario, free of whipped voting, where your elected representatives truly represent your interests and not the financial interests of their party. You've won 4 years of accountability, transparency, and integrity at Queen's Park. And best of all, Joe, you've won back your freedom, your voice, and your vote in Ontario's democracy. Congratulations!
Yes, congratulations, Joe. Trillium is sure to restore your faith in government for the next 4 years. That's all the time we have, folks.